control, or maybe even towards the A ramp, towards that A site, I don't think those smokes are big enough. So I think right now it's basically what Athena was saying. You're leveraging maybe the rest of the util around Sherrod, which is basically the what's it called again? That the bubble thing. Saturate?
The bubble.
No, that's a Waylay thing. It's been a long time since I did some clove. But anyways, the metal, there you go. It came back. It came back. So the metal to try to push down with the rest of the util to fight. I think that could be the game style or the gameplay for YFP, because especially when you're looking at how they're setting up their defense right now, they have the Neon and Clove playing together to try to go for that combination play and then shoot back against the aggression.
There. Yeah, because when you have a second controller, you're expecting the Viper, but you're not expecting Zoriental just getting a 3K in the corner like this. What? SRG are just not going to take this laying down. You're just going to jump up and now feed the beast of Sherrod even more. So, quite a round. I guess who cares what agent you have when you got to set up like that?
Well, question answered is that bubble from Sherrod is good enough at least to cover that A site cross right over here where Zoriental gets some free picks. Again, it seems as though SRG were trying to find some good value out of that recon dart, but with no smokes on that left side being thrown on their attack, what the heck are we doing? It doesn't get the ping. Zoriental gets easy pickings on SRG, who never checked that corner, expecting potentially that the recon was going to reach that far. And that's a very strong pistol to win for the defensive side to kick off this third map.
It's got SRG a little nervous when you have to tap the orb just to make sure you can get it, but I have Noya on the opposite side in this camera. They have just spotted Scary Shark. What can they really do about it? And the camera's even still going to be up, so... Now mid-map too, YFPX is really listening to the call of Scary Shark, who I don't imagine takes too much of a fight here. Maybe the one and leaves, and we'll be able to escape just in time. But now SRG are on the chase, collecting now both orbs of the map. And this is where these smokes are going to be coming in clutch to break up SRG, to allow the advantage to be in YFPX's favor. After being revealed, Scary Shark's going to have to reposition.
But while she's being revealed, everybody else got suppressed by the knife from Corrupt, so trying to re-hit this B site, it's going to have to come down to the next, once everybody gets their util back, the next wave. Paranoia has to hit hard right now for SRG to try to get into the site. If not, it's over.
There's a spam. SRG just taking so many injuries and Flash. No, SRG just working as a unit, but now falling like dominoes. Holy. I thought that was going to be just the early spam. I think it was enough to secure that for YFPX and got that SRG when they had this death balls. They could have gotten more kills out of that. But yeah, pistols don't hurt very much.
Especially when the Paranoia actually did hit Corrupt in the back of the shed. And unfortunately, they tried to move as quickly as possible, but the one holding him back on that left side, that's again Scary Shark, using util, using her body as well, so that they can't really push as quickly into the site, allows Corrupt to get unparanoid, if we could put it that way, and picks up easy kills with the stingers. Now SRG, lack of plants in the first 2 rounds, so the economy's not the best. You see 3 of them, or 2 of them, sorry, with half shields. Odin on the attack though with Sarah.
Oh my god, even while Flash SRG don't get slaughtered. Not yet. And then that nade alone kind of resets things back to square one, and Noya continues to control the left side of the map, giving options for SRG to exit.
That was a nice try though. Beautiful pop flash being thrown by Corrupt. But then you're trying to dance around so many players congregated on that side that they probably didn't expect that many players from SRG on the other side of that slide.
Cover.
Now SRG has the whole map to work with. Creeping up towards middle, the wall towards Rooster might give now the call from YFP that the hit will be happening towards this B site. So Scary Shark has to come up huge once again, but she only has a pistol.
At least it's a good game of hide and seek and seeking headshots. Wait, 2 kills with the ghost is insane. SRG not expecting that one. Now up into tower. Glowstick hopes to prevent the plant and did good enough damage that this should still be salvageable from YFPX. Now 1 position revealed. SRG is just going to play from main with Sherrod still being able to continue to smoke them off from the spike, but YFPX also still have to show face. Ouch.
Right now, if they could get, it's going to be Ares versus Odin on this tap.
Enemy remaining.
Oh, and that's how you bring the Odin to the party.
One enemy remaining.
Oh, and now the Odin's gone. Share it in a 1v1, but now has to act now and not really any time to win this. And Noya will be there to deny just in time. And Sherrod yet another round. We're so close to clutch, but so far away from the defuse.
Beautiful, nice shot to kick things off with a tap onto Sarah. It's probably Sarah thought that while she was spamming, somebody else tapped onto the spike, so she didn't really know if somebody was really sticking it. The fact that they were able to win that round, or lose that round rather, by dropping all the weapons on the side of SRG. Look at what they carries over onto the next round now. Can't even have a strong gun round for SRG this time over. Yet for YFPX, it's full rifles with an outlaw. You're in a good spot right here for YFPX to continue the spread of your lead by 2.
Yeah, SRG are good on lower buys, but usually like stingers or specters or something, and the spam from Sherrod gets SRG a little bit injured, but now unable to keep up with the rotations and still getting away. SRG are just so hungry for the punish and the kill that it costs them a body. But although the round is kind of seemingly already in YPX's favor based on the buys,
Spike planted.
but SRG's barrier here is what allows them to plant safely. Sonic sensors at the top, right where they saw Sherrod escape. Now here's the retake off of Zoriental, off the stuns and Corrupt. Oh, I thought they had the second. Sherrod gets the rest. And man, Sherrod's always good for these numbers. They're just putting up stats galore.
And I like the idea from SRG when they were getting the wall broken down and they realized they couldn't plant for the outside of A side anymore. Plant safe inside, flip the map, and try to bring the odds into your favor as they read it correctly, because it was going to be a 3 versus 2 towards that back. But it comes down once again to Corrupt. I talked about how good of a util was being utilized by Scary Shark in the last 2 maps, but this time around it's Corrupt on this KO. Pop flash, knife, no util to counteract on the push back towards the spawn, so everybody's just sitting out in the open for Shopify trying to push back and flip that site. That YFPX was able to convert quite an easy anti-eco this time around against Shopify, who now will attempt another Odin round on to Sarah. Knife avoided at least, but look at this double walk-up.
Oh, Zoriental low punish. And Scary Shark gone too. Not even to trade in that moment. And neural theft for Noya.
Cover going out.
Trying to tell you which side is looking the weakest and how close Corrupt really is, and just barely being able to squeak out towards cover. And it doesn't matter. SRG will seek out every kill and now look to make this a flawless.
Yeah, it was Donut's clone too that saved her teammate. I think that was Mel running forward. Trades off for the kill. A 5 versus 1. Sherrod's already back towards the defender spawn. So this will definitely be a 3-2 scoreline, and I just love the reaction coming back from Shopify. A great attempt, at least for YFP, to try to play these trap plays. So far, you're noticing it here, that you are trying to pop flash a lot around Corrupt and then have Zoriental move forward. This time you had the assist from a Paranoia from Scary Shark as well. And all of that was baited by Noya. Noya is doing the selfless play, moving forward. Everybody stays all the way back. So as they're trying to move forward, she still gets the kill onto the slide, and the rest of the cavalry swings up from the bottom of the spawn, and they just overtake and nullify the trapped attempt from YFP. And I think it goes back to the story of this series here, 11QE. The desk, even you've mentioned it. Very strange that we're not seeing that second map being Corrode or Haven or something like that for SRG. SRG so far just wanted to play hard mode. Playing Sunset, a map that they haven't played in a very long time, finally wins it. And now you're in a comfortable territory with this type of comp and with your results that you've proven so far here in this GC.
Yeah, and we thought YFPX were playing on hard mode when they don't bring out the chamber again, but you can't really question the 8 kills, 0 deaths. So maybe Myrna was onto something about just shoot them. But also being very measured on their aggression, like getting the 1 and then always escaping. Don't even need a teleport. Now they can be even more selfish now that they have the not dead yet ultimate, where now they can be even more aggressive and get more than just the 1 kill that they're always good for the first bloods.
This is
but a lot of mid control though.
Exactly, but this is not bad to start because the knife was avoided by SRG and they also went for a fake TP into middle. So now you're thinking, okay, we have to re-clear back towards middle, which gives a chance now for SRG to work into a weak site.
It's an open B link, nothing off the annihilation, dimensional drift to get SRG at the back, and YFPX had barely any space to work with, but a double flank could be huge. The Hunter's Fury could be backstabbed here very quickly as Sarah has to react with the Odin. It's gonna get pressured and has backup, and that's the buddy system SRG are always good at. Now Sova v Sova on the flank, which could crack SRG's defenses, but somehow the off at the front, a double kill and a collateral things. Oriental coming alive and sending SRG to the grave.
No way that was a collat in the end. I'm looking at the X's. There's one X that's darker than the other. So it seems as though like the Hunter's Fury that was utilized here by Sarah allows for Shopify to just re-pivot on the other end and play a high-low. But the issue is once they're trying to play the high-low, Donono is already at 14 HP. So double leg shot or whatever it is, you're going to get picked off. And that becomes a nice little re-clear shot by Zoriental towards the end. Picks up a rifle, gets the third kill on top of that, salvages his op into the next round. And that should have been an SRG all over, at least to tie up this game. YFP definitely has different plans. Right now, Glowstick is the one playing the Odin. Lebrock right now on the Sova on this map.
And Zoriental's just having such a great map from the 3K off the pistol to that. That saves the round if the flank didn't work out either, so... Huge game for Zoriental after both Neons really struggled on Sunset, and Corrupt does get some help from Glowstick in the end. And now mid is being fought for from SRG. Mel's gonna teleport past.
Huge.
Try to split the focus from YFPX, and Sarah's still good on her own.
Because of that flash too, they don't hear the TP across. So right now the front 2B players just have to hold their ground and let Mel find her timing. This is why we're also droning just to try to keep the KO back towards the orbit. Seems as though Corrupt has a little bit of a read here that this flank could be happening.
And Sarah's just gonna keep things pressured with the Odin. Mel, beautiful. The timing, the double, and that's all you need from the captain.
Sound sensor up.
This will be an easy round for SRG, and I would imagine Zoriental Sharad keep what they have. Even though they have the money, you don't want to feed the beast even more.
Agreed. Especially as you're still far away from the next cycle of ults here for the side of Shopify Rebellion, so just try to make sure that you have some still a good hold into the lead that you currently have built on this first half of the map. But again, I have to commend how that synergy that I was criticizing in the first two maps here for SRG looks much cleaner this time around here on Corrode. There has to be a conversation that was said here between FEs and the team between these maps because it looks much cleaner. Look at the TP that comes across. They just hold their ground at the beginning as in those positions that I mentioned before. But as soon as she makes it back towards the elbow side, that's where the owl drone came through. That's where more utils started to get thrown towards that front B side. So you keep those crosshairs pointed on those angles so that Mel gets the best backstab as possible. So very nicely done in the end. And that's something that YFP wasn't prepared for.
And I would think that YFPX would want to reinforce mid after that altercation, and you would want to insert that op there, give it to Glowstick, but watching over B just as good too. Even getting maybe an early peek, an early pick. YFPX have been so good at those first blood departments. But now just using the smoke to deny mid, that's even better for YFPX to leave this to be inexpensive.
I've got a lot of info though for YFP. So they go for a guest spam here for Glowstick right through the Wallace. And I saw a law here thrown all the way from that B-side map. Now Aldrone trades out the Paranoia, but this is still a good read for SRG if they want to continue to push towards this site. There's only one player anchoring in that spot.
Oh, just spam through the wall. Scary Shark read like a book, and then you have the deadlock barrier in place. Rod's trying to break that as soon as possible. At least just now is and still smoked off, so SRG have layers to their post plant. Now the Hunter's Fury hopes to break all of those defenses up here from YFPX, and Sharad can continue to be involved with the ult. He still needs that kill, and Donut is ruthless. and SRG were pinned, but they just bite back even harder.
And that's what you want to start seeing from your star duelist. The one recently picked up by Shopify Rebellion Gold, their star duelist that they wanted to bring up here with the team to try to hoist another trophy for the side of SRG. 2 times now for GCC, trying to reach their 3rd one. And it comes down to Donut this time not playing any hold angles. She actually was the one swinging out on individual fights and laser beaming YFP on that retake. And that's the type of confidence you want to see come out here from your duelist to put up these numbers. 4 kills on the board, 3 most important ones to make sure they're able to tie up the game, and also start to instill a little bit of fear here in the boots of YFPX, because for the first time in this series, it's actually on the camp of the challengers of YFPX to call out the first time out.
I was about to say, you don't usually see YFPX sweating this early in a series like this, and they've made some really great changes to their roster, adding players who I was worried how fast they're going to be able to integrate, not having any Game Changers experience, but Corrupt was the one that recruited one of those players, so they have seen the potential of these players, and they're showing just that. Even just to go to map 3 against SRG is a feat that not a lot of teams can say they've done, and to let Corrode float, I must say that YFPX are still comfortable on this map, but this is definitely stronger in the camp of SRG, so we'll see what YFPX have decided on this timeout, with a heavier stack towards mid for sure.
I've been looking for some sort of a map control, and so far in the extremities it's being snuffed out, so thanks to these smokes they could maybe add a little bit more of these numbers. But I think that goes back to what Doug was questioning at the beginning of this game as well, though. How do you find some information? How do you stall well enough here in this type of composition for YFPX? But to answer that as well, I feel like now with this type of composition, you already picked up 4 rounds, and the comp is basically built around, let's try to bring the aggression on the attack side. This might be a counter to like what G2 does with their double sentinel on Ascent, right? You get 4 rounds on the attack, you're comfortable on defense. Now this time, YFP 4 rounds on the defense, you should be gunning the attack.
Okay, SRG just flood in right through B. Betrod in the corner, doing what they can with the hero rifle, and damage has been done, but SRG have not been stopped. And any kills YFPX have, they have to make sure that B-Link could be plausible off the drone thrown out from Glowstick, and hey, a puncture through 1. Still need to find where that gun was dropped, but man, this tower defense game is crazy with Donut at the helm.
Yeah, or what is it, TD Bloons? If you want to go back to what was it? What was the org chat back in the day? Mamba?
That's a throwback.
Doug would know. Doug would know. He's casted that team with me before in the past. That said, though, this was still an eco, so we kind of had a little bit of a garbage round for YFPX, and that timeout that they utilized previously is for this round right here. Very similar to looks, though, where they're still looking for the mid control, but your stall is now going to be Corrupt, trying to find their early info. So the knife does get 4, so they have the indication it's a 4-1 setup for SRG, and they're walking down middle. But this is where it gets difficult. How do you escape with this? Zoriental, the best you got is a wall and trying to run away. And Sarah's looking right down the barrel with the Odin.
Oh.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, same smoke spot for YFPX, which you're wondering what's the point of this double bubble controller, and it's to get more forward mid positions, but YFPX haven't really benefited from that, and their stall is the smoke, which SRG have been just disrespecting or waiting out. So Annihilation, Dimensional Drift. I could easily just get SRG set up towards the back of B2 with Donut, who's never led them astray before.
Who's next?
Sherrod has to now try and run away, and there the Annihilation goes fishing off the ping. No, Sherrod dodges that, kills Mel, and I'm surprised Donut wasn't there for the punish. Didn't stay forward. But still numbers in SRG's favor, but headlock barrier set up for mid this time, and Noya gets to go exploring through mid. But Scary Shark has made it past defenses, gets found by the drone, and now is stuck between a rock and a hard place and a 1v3. And some injuries too to Scary Shark. But Sarah's not going to go anywhere because she's low HP. So Scary Shark has a chance to isolate a 1v1, but not gonna have the time, but it's probably gonna be about how much you can make this cost SRG at the end of the day, and just gonna decide to keep their weapon instead.
Cost enough there for Donut, but you already knew it was GG in a lockdown with Scary Shark having to face against an Odin Spray and a Hunter's Fury in the book for Sarah, in case it had to come down to that. So SRG, I mean, so far looking at their attack side is what the desk has been expecting when we previewed this game, right? When he talked about the lurks on to Noya, onto Alexis, as Sentinels, as Vipers. It's always should be good for those moments. We haven't seen that on Sunset. I didn't see it too much on Lotus, but Noya had a beautiful lurk this time around on middle to try to cut the rotates across. So it definitely does feel that they're a lot more comfortable playing into these maps like the Havens and the Corrodes, especially Corrode being a newer map, and more prepared seems to be SRG on how they want to approach this map.
Same forward smoke from YFPX, but that's the whole reason Sarah buys the Odin, to just keep spamming and keep YFPX nervous. And even if she doesn't spam, SRG will just wait out the smoke, so this composition is, at least utility-wise, not giving YFPX any favors.
That's why sometimes a battle sage on the Lexus would have been nice too. You could wall yourself up and look over that smoke. That's why you probably also see some teams also run an Ash, try to run bigger smoke, so you really have a good deep line smoke control of the defensive side. But as you wait and go, stop and see where YFP could be at, you could notice that since this timeout, we haven't seen too many attempts at trap plays on the side of YFPX.
Yeah, YFPX threw knife early in A, so they know the only gap that's been left is in mid, and Shara just keeps cleaning up. Now holds the corner and just is trusted to anchor B solo. When Noya wants to find good timing, is going to recruit Mel with the Outlaw. Paranoia right through the close corner, and Noya just cut down by Corrupt. At least Mel trades. Shrod low, 17 HP. Oh, and Mel is caught. Something util in hand. A 4K. Somehow Sharad just saves the day.
Yeah, Mel was looking at TP from the smoke inside, and I almost feel that, as I was just praising how good the coordination was for SRG, I feel that it finally slipped for a bit this time around. Because you already had inserts on the top middle, and you needed somebody to activate. Noya was already trying to move into the B main, and she had almost the timing to go into the site. But as Mel TPs across, well, that audible cue is already there, and Sharad's already getting ready to move into there. And as they walked into the smoke, the paranoia was way too late. It was thrown towards the boxes, and now Noya, with the audio cue from the ult, gets shot from the side here at elbow. And they found no value on the lurk.
Ooh, Alexis hit a net on Zoriental there, so that was almost really scary. Still a close approach. SRG have not scared YFPX away entirely. A lot rides on Scary Shark. It's good. One slips by the defenses, but still an army of SRG it takes to take them down. Zoriental gets away with 2 though, and SRG are gonna have a much weaker post plant. Got their captain involved.
Smart though that Scary Shark didn't get baited by that actually decoy that slipped through. So then the rest though, as she swung out, still got caught off guard. Now they wall themselves to fake that there's nobody going to be lurking late, but it's Noya once again going behind the deadlock wall. Now the Odin has to hold true for Sarah.
Sarah can just keep spamming and now wants to conserve bullets, and it's enough. As a YFPX, well, they scrap away, and glow stick's been dealt with, and it's just Sharad with the ult who's just gonna high five SRG in the end.
Yeah, it's almost like a semi-zombie comp that you saw here from SRG. KO looking to get revived and getting information as he gets downed, and then you also have Sharad trying to go with the not done yet as they get dropped here towards that A site. But again, the value that Noya has coming in from that late flank, even if she doesn't pick up that last kill, it was still good enough here to secure the lead for SRG, the first time in the series that they're able to find some comfortable footing moving into the second half. Although not really out of the frying pan yet. One pistol round on YFP's composition in this aggro death ball that you could potentially see here, and the value that this comp brings could already potentially tie up this game.
See how much delay Alexis can create. It's already been smoked off, so YFPX defaulting in a deep smoke from SRG and mid allows this A-Link sort of mid insertion, and SRG wait while YFPX farm orbs.
And a wall already came up, so might as well. You still have a lot of time to work a mid round, so take advantage of the orb, fake a presence on that side, take the recon dart towards middle, and go for the late hit towards that B side when that wall finally comes down.
Yeah, Sarah almost getting a haircut there, but SRG feeling very secure about their right side, not needing to invest, but needing to make the most out of the space that they've been giving, while YFPX have been netted by Alexis. So talk about the delay that a deadlock creates. Now, YFPX have crawled their way in, and SRG dealing with the one in the smoke. And, well, as a unit, they cover all their bases. And Sharad and Corrupt together with no flashes and no hope. But Sharad looking for the ace. And, oh, the kryptonite to Sharad has been the reload. Not enough bullets to give to everybody. So close.
Such a nice try, and you would wonder what would have been if they were playing Chamber with a headhunter, because they've been so good in terms of aim for this team. But look at Donut once again being activated. Flick on that top to not get any value to Scary Shark on the top of that shed. I think that was that biggest kill that allowed SRG to really flood back into the site. Almost heroic plays to tie up this game potentially if Sharad actually won that 1v1 to ace that round. You could definitely see here in this roster, there's two superstars being both Zoriental and Sharad, the number of kills that they can bring across the department. But the supporting cast around this roster, around these two fraggers, are definitely good.
Good flash here to destabilize Donut.
Spike down mid.
Well, Glowstick doesn't have a head anymore, and oh, Mel is also picking them apart. There is no safe space for YFPX to be in. So this will be a quick anti-eco for SRG. And just speaks to the value that Alexis and the whole team have on, and just the confidence, how much better they play on a map that they know inside out.
Yeah. And then on top of that, a flawless. That's great economy. We're looking at the last two rounds too. No plants across. Now they know Donut at least has the outlaw, so you have to maybe sacrifice less utility to have full shields. We'll have to see what the buy is going to be. Look at them, 5 of them. So they are going to commit with full util on the side right now for YFPX. Actually, I was looking at the wrong side too. Is SRG on the bonus here with the half shields, but it's still a heavy investment. You're forcing full shields across the board and util, so that's why Corrupt only has a Stinger to work with. Guardian 2 on one side, so the point still stands. They don't have the strongest of buys here against the bonus of SRG, just to try to survive against the outlaw of Donut, who's been on point in terms of shooting on this defense.
Because you have the Cypher, you can play a lot more passively at A, and with the Judge too, of all things, from Noya. That's gonna be fun later on. And the Guardian 2 for range, having Mel by your side is always a boon. YPX being denied a lot of information, especially when Glowstick is gonna be your main contributor to that. And the drone got shot down, so now it's a spam fest. No one can see or hear anything, and Mel gets away with that. Numbers are equal.
That slows down that second smoke, and especially as they drop Scary Shark, they can't take mid control anymore. So the thing is you already see the fallback from Mel. So this camera is going to see players, yes, of course, but they are given a lot of space for YFP to be able to move in.
Oh, there's just so many distractions, and this Judge is going to continue to do damage. You know they're behind the box, and oh man! Noya gets overwhelmed eventually. YPX have to continue and forget about everything that's happened. Still all the kills go YCX's favor. It's Alexis in a 1 versus 3. Spectre in hand. 49 HP, I should say. And it's gonna be a tough time, but make this expensive as you can. Nice shot from Corrupt. YFPX not letting SRG get to double digits yet.
Not converting the bonus either, which was a great start for Shopify with the early kills that they picked on middle. And the saving grace that you had this time was Sherrod. So yeah, I take it back. I don't want to know what Sherrod would have been like if they were playing Chamber with a Headhunter. That ult that they pulled up was that win con for YFP to be able to trade off each other to overtake that A site. If not, that would have been a huge stall once again from a judge of Noya on that side, which potentially could have put SRG in this double digits. Now though, lots of util. Look at this double sentinel setup over towards this B site. One shock would break it all, and Glowstick has it in his hands. And it's bouncing up.
Oh, where's that going?
And it's not breaking anything. So we're in a good spot right now on defense for SRG.
It's like flash paranoia. YPX is just gonna try and overwhelm anyone who's operating that util. There's still a barrier even active within the site, so YPX would be corralled towards the left, and Zoriental completely caught off guard by that barrier, and the neon walls from Zoriental kind of hindered themselves on their journey. And then Sarah just gets the spam with the Odin, but it's not over yet. Sherrod is extremely injured, and I don't know how this is gonna go, especially when YPX don't have a plant. It won't be safe either. It won't end by an objective. It may just end at the hands of SRG yet again in double digits. And SRG just that much closer to closing out the map 3.
And it just comes down to where you guess the setup would be here on the defensive side for B site. Because if that shock dart actually landed right at that ledge where that spam box is, where people could plant to play towards that front B spam, that was most likely 75% of that util gone. And because it's not gone, look at how that's being set up. The wall is perfect to flood everybody down towards the lane. And what can you do now? You spray an Odin while everybody's getting lit up by that util. And you're just spamming through the shed while you have support from the other side. And there's just no way for YFP to really move into the site. You can't even trade off the way that you can or that you want to. Now you're usually good at, and that should be good with this composition. Now the second timeout already comes through, and that's the last one that they could bring here in this map, unless after this one they're able to bring a comeback here against SRG, which potentially force Effie's into another timeout, giving me a chance here for YFP to talk one more time. But if not, this is looking like SRG are about to give the chat another scare to say, don't worry chat, we had it all along, and we're gonna win another 2-1.
Yeah, SRG, I guess, I can't believe I'm even saying this, but like sometimes have slow starts. Just think about how they dropped that map against Blue Water. It was in overtime, and man, what a stressful sight if you were watching on the alternate stream that day. And you'd be stressed after seeing that SRG had to win Sunset of all things to even be in this position. But they have players with some of the highest clutch percentages in Game Changers for a reason. And now it's a scrap from mid. What a paranoia too from Mel, but because of the smoke, SRG just hoped to spam through off the pings from Sarah. They're not gonna have the luxury of an Odin this time, but still keeps YFPX humble and away from mid, or so SRG think. Based on all the double sentinel util SRG have, they know they can just only need to pay attention to mid.
Which is surprising because they won the last round with the Odin being dropped inside that B site. It could have been picked up, so I'm still wondering what happened to that Odin from Sarah. That said though, the clear back towards middle sees 2, and this is still a small buy hero rifle for Sherrod. Oh, YFP are looking to, it looked like they were trying to split towards that front A site first. Now it's just back into a, hey, let's pull some rotates across, fight towards middle. And maybe Sarah doesn't need an Odin after all.
Sarah's the GOAT and just kind of pulling off, being so reliable and pulling off these solo plays. Hunter's Fury gets value, recons, Odins, and then SRG, all they have to do is clean up what was left behind. Now there's got to be a lot of stress in the YFPX camp to have to buy up next round and wait a minute. Close stick. I don't know if they'll be able to recover that weapon though. All right, the ghosts definitely scaring them now. A lot of pressure on the new player though to deny as many of these weapons as possible, and eventually SRG swing out and deal with the problem. 2 rounds away before SRG get to the grand final. And
I'm loving it. And now you're seeing the confidence come back for SRG side. I love the fact that we're also shooting bodies too for SRG. That means that the camp, when I was mentioning before on the last few maps where the coordination was off, especially on Sunset, I think all those vibes are gone, and it's back into the good old championship look.
This is a nice spot.
Shopify Rebellion Gold that we know that they could carry here. And it's looking
Yes, this should do.
like a cleanest half that we could see so far here, outside of the bonus round that they could convert, but they also were going into that bonus round on a 5v3 with the nice picks that they had earlier on. This could have been over already. Now an Odin back on the attack side, this time an Odin for Glowstick, and unfortunately the bullet trails through the smoke. It's Sharada to pick that up with the Guardian.
Yeah, and Sharad was the last victim, or the first victim last round, and now they get their revenge, but not before YFPX still getting pretty tagged up by the spam from SRG, so still not good.
The thing is that the smoke just dissipated, and then Donut just saw the rotate over on this B side, so she's gonna instantly rotate across and try to help out here.
Oh, once this neon smoke drops, so Donut gets one. I thought that was gonna be a collab too, but YFPX can set up camp and be able to pick up some weapons and cover everything up. You need to try and draw out as many ultimates as you can from SRG, but you know, they're all dead now, so not going to be the case. SRG, even if they drop this, should still have a really good next round coming up. And it looks like that'll be just a save.
And it's right. I mean, Sarah will still be able to buy into the next round, but with the money that you have across the board here, maybe just securing another Odin into the round, making sure that you're trying to cycle as much as you could into your advantage, right? You're about to go into the next round with Donut almost into an ult, but at least 3 available for Alexis, Sarah, and Noya specifically. Cover going out. And also saving up weapons, forcing out orbs on the side of YFP, forcing out buys even on their side when they can't really afford it. And look at Scary Shot moving to the next round. Of course, you'll get a buy from one of her teammates, but you gotta play the long game right now for YFP. Trying to knock out some weapons on the defensive side when SRG has won 4 out of the last 5. I don't think it was the best of decisions to try to hunt down these kills unless they really wanted to get rid of the op.
This doesn't feel like YFPX have a lot of good options, a lot of good decisions to make when you're facing 2 Sentinels that cover everything at B. A has been really troublesome for YFPX, and they keep trying to test mid, and then they keep getting sprayed down, so YFPX, maybe they've been given hope that sometimes Sharad can get that first blood in mid, and now Zoriental misses their chance to strike at Alexis, and the buddy system from SRG could overwhelm them. Hunter's Fury and Annihilation, and Mel collects, passes go. And YFPX still have to get the spike back, so this is not a situation you can escape easily, unless Sarah just gets zoned off by the drone.
Yeah, and the overheal disappears, so Sharad's also going to be very low on HP. Very winnable, and we almost saw this from that minimap miles away that they were trying to go for that info from Rooster and the trap play with the Hunter's Fury net. And you can't escape out of that one. You're not playing a Yoru. You're forced to remove that net from your hands, and they'll get some beautiful picks.
Sharada's gonna go in, has the spike, has the ult, and least amount of HP. Has to be bait, has to inspire this team.
Oh, it's so
SRG
close.
have trips right in the way. Not able to shoot through the wall though. Sarah just gets ready to do just that, but YPX have repositioned. Dimensional drift from Dodo Nut.
Oh.
Sharad does not care at all. Will not be haunted by this ghost. This is very winnable for YFPX. By the way, Noya and Dodo Nut lock in when it matters the most. 2 versus 2.
Oh my God.
And SRG find the shot that matters. And it's Glowstick now with no help to pull this Hunter's Fury. It just has to be the Odin. What a flick! And what a Red Bull clutch by Glowstick!
Yeah, I know that Brock's in the chat right now. He's probably grinning ear to ear after that little flick that we just saw from Glowstick with the Odin on the post plan. But man, it looked almost so doable here on the side of SRG. But converting right now with 3 versus 5 on the attack, you'll take that for sure in terms of confidence builder for YFP. But look at those shots that we just saw from Dodo Nut. Despite not getting value for her teammates with the dimensional drift, because great heads up play for YFP to just shoot behind the Yoru to get those picks, she still got 2 of her own, which gave them a huge advantage. They had to come down for a huge clutch on the side of Glowstick to be able to win that round. And this is exactly what we were mentioning before. Now they've won enough to break the bank for SRG, so SRG is forced to go on a timeout, and they now have a chance for YFPX to take advantage of their opponent's timeout to talk things through, as they have economy advantage, ult advantage as well.
Yeah, and Shopify knew how important that round was, and to invest in dimensional drift, Hunter's Fury, etc. that was a risk that we're willing to take, and now it gives an opening for YFPX to come back. Now they have an Odin of their own, Glowstick, to try and press back into mid or against any opposition of SRG who like to spam through their smokes. So this is going to be a pretty do or die for YFPX to try and build some kind of momentum from this point. Now this push up from SRG just through A's. Will gamble wrong, and that means an open sight for YFPX, and you know the kill trips are there for Noya. Is just gonna stay safe around mid. Hey, YFPX even threw out the Hunter's Fury just in case.
Spike planted.
Now SRG, at least with that A push, they're gonna maybe link up with Noya, maybe have a chance to flank because YFPX don't have a Sentinel that can get that info, so it has to be the eyes of Glowstick and the Odin that rings true. Well, Odin not making contact first, and no flash to kind of destabilize Glowstick. Well, 10 HP will be enough to scare them away. Now SRG creep in, but tower control is going to be a tough position for SRG to dispatch. And Scary Shark's on the ground and has the news, and it's YFPX that are up to 9.
Glowstick still survives with that 10 HP remaining, so falling back, letting somebody else pick up that space that was given away. I love the rotates back from YFP to make sure that they don't give up too much space for SRG to retake here towards that B site. Works out here for their end, and we need 2 more rounds to tie up this game. So Shopify Rebellion still in a pretty decent position to try to close this out. You're looking at ult cycles once again on the advantage side of YFPX because Zoriental is 1 away from theirs. The rest are still quite far away outside of Noria's neural theft, with again another landmine of trips and traps into the B site, and an Odin being played from the top middle of Sarah once again to support.
You don't want this Neon ult to trick you into, you have to play fast, you have to play aggressive, because with the double Sentinel setups from SRG, none of these rounds have been fast for YFPX because of that.
Here.
You really want that mid control, a way to cut through the defenses of SRG. That's just going to be a no man's land when Sarah has the Odin and she's propped up there.
Even avoided the owl drone. Right now, though, Donut places a TP, but doesn't want to continue to walk forward and finally finds that confidence for it. So she can still lock that down, but here's that hit towards B.
Oh, Noya is tagged up. What a trade from Sarah. But Trod layers up, and YFPX take this 1 step at a time. And next is Noya. That at least YFPX know she's there. They'll try to cut through A. Mel does what she can to limit them with the smoke and the teleport. Scary Shark has been punished on that before. Thinking about Lotus. That's been the play, and Mel was on it. Now this is not going to be safe for Glowstick. Wait. She is the real threat here, but SRG still have numbers. Glowstick will collect 1 more, but SRG also collect match point, 1 away from the grand final.
Jesus, that was an insane shot by Glowstick though onto Donut. And I almost feel like I was questioning why the hell is Scary Shark TPing out in the open? But then I realized she was playing it for Glowstick because Glowstick could be in these clutch scenarios that they've converted a couple of rounds ago, but had so many great opportunities this series to almost win out some scenarios. I think even won a 1 versus 4 on Lotus earlier on when we've mentioned that the position that they had here on the retakes and holding on that C site. But still, SRG wins the round with 1 player alive in the last one, so look at their buy. Still a chance for YFP to fight back. Odin being sprayed towards that top, and Guardians, will it be enough here to close out the series?
Just unnecessary HP to lose. No one's shooting the recon, and SRG break the win streak, the momentum that YFPX desperately needed to get back into this game. Now things are dire. Just a shotgun to the dome. Sherrod is always there for trades, but gets discovered. In the buddy system, SRG as a team, they fall, but they rise, and it's Corrupt with the flash out and a quicker shot towards Sarah. Seeing the backup, though, Corrupt looks for a better position away from the barrier. Now, I don't know if Alexis knows Corrupt made it through, and Corrupt may not get the assist, but hey, there's Scary Shark showing up when it matters. It's just Noya left in a 1 versus 3. YFPX within arm's reach of SRG.
And this is now going to get decided potentially in the last round of regulation because the economy is busted now for SRG. I'm pretty sure they also still have 1 timeout left. So it might be called for FEs. There you go for that last round. So this is gamble stack into your pistol. Try to figure out what you could do here with the util that you have. But if you're looking at it, unfortunately, there's not too much that's allowing for you to go for like a C's util combination and try to go for a trap play in your lowest of buys. So this conversation is now going to have to, once again, come down to that round number 24. Can we min-max at least an orb here onto potentially Donut or Alexis? Fight towards that A main side to try to pick up that orb because it has been kind of quiet for YFP's side when they're defaulting at the beginning of these rounds. They're using a lot of middle/B side. So if you just want to sacrifice yourselves to fight towards that front A site to try to get at least a dimensional drift or the annihilation for that round number 24 to add a little bit more to the plate of what you could carry here into the last round of this potential series. If not, it's overtime for Corrode.
Sherrod has to be set up for success here and has to contribute exactly that. And what more could you ask for a new player to come in and to drop, what, they're almost 30 kills against the best Game Changers team here?
Yeah.
This which would be such a heavy loss for them because that is a significant amount of work, especially on the Glove of all things. So
look at this.
you set them up with the orb too.
All 3 of them that I mentioned before, who's going to get the orb, all 3 of them are pushing out towards that A main, and they'll give it to Alexis. So if it was going to be Alexis falling and they still hold up that space, somebody else is going to pick up that orb, and you just want to try to min-max on that side. So great conversations by FEs to kick things off, and now the gamble stack is still pretty decent. Look at the TP across. It's 3 players over on that B site.
Now the drone gets pretty deep into the site. The neon walls are up. YFPX race to the back. They race to just wipe out all of SRG. I mean, this round was over in the blink of an eye, and a flawless one at that.
That was
gonna
expected.
come down to the last round of regulation. Jeez, this is as close as it gets.
Yeah. And again, expected that it was going to be a mole down here from YFP into the site, especially from that owl drone spotting so much in the slide, even seeing one towards that shed. Because again, if you're focusing so many players over on that A side just to pick up an orb, you don't have too much to work with here on that B sites to stall outside of maybe Noise utility, but here you're playing on a Nico round. So now Annihilation available. Glowstick has their Hunter's Fury too, and they're looking to aim it straight towards the A side, at least for a recon dart for info, but a wall gets thrown immediately. Nice first blood.
That's huge. And SRG continue to keep mid in their control. Deadlock barrier stands in YFPX's way, so they'll have to knock at the door pretty hard. And Mel gets set up at the back to cover the right side of the site, and YPX could try to pivot out of this, but the drone's going to see that coming, and it did not spot YFPX, but Sarah will still be ready to strike through YFPX's rotation. They do smoke it off, so Sarah will just have to listen in.
I think Sherrod being selfless and running through the smoke, making sure here that even if they get caught by the Annihilation, they could res and then use a Hunter's Fury behind that just to try to counteract would be kind of fire to see. But YFP are just going to scroll through, sneak through the smoke.
Oh, the Annihilation! Oh, that's not good. YPX will do their best to trade. Alexis is gone. Sarah pressures them back with shock. And YPX, they funnel in to the sideline of Sarah. Don't know with the second with the up. And it's just Sherrod against the world. And with the ult, they're back. 74 HP, backstab and stab through the heart as SRG still advance to the grand final.
And Donut is the one that's able to get that pick with a right-click classic, the most important one of that round, to give a chance here and seal the deal for Shopify Rebellion Gold.